I'm here with Dan, and he has developed an incredible bit of software for freelance photographers. And I wanted to have a sit down and chat with him about why it's so good. So tell us about your software, Dan.
No problem. So Shoot and Share is an application that we've developed for event photographers, specifically roaming photographers.
Yeah.
Not necessarily events, could be street photographers, and it's a really quick, easy way to link customers directly to their photos. We found that through our years of doing event photography, we've seen some crazy methods that photographers have used to try and link customers to photos. We've literally seen people scribbling down file names, putting their email addresses next to them, getting home, spending hours and hours after emailing people their photos. So the idea of this is to kind of move away from that and move away from web galleries where people have kind of got to sift through, find their photos, and give photographers a tool to be able to kind of link customers directly to their photos so they either download them for free or can purchase them.
As someone who's also been a freelance photographer for over 20 years, and then when you come to those points where I'd be out on the street or maybe at a gig, and then you're there with taking photos for the band, but then you've got people in the crowd and they're like, oh, can I get a copy of that photo? And I had to do exactly what you say, oh, give me your email address and then I'll transfer you the photos and all of that kind of stuff, which it comes across as just not as professional as you are. So when you first told me about this, my first thought was, you're giving everyone a tool that is essential in their kit bag, that oozes professional ability and that adds to it.
Yeah, exactly that. And what we want to do is add value to what the photographers are doing. Whether you're giving photos out for free or whether you're selling them, the idea is the quicker you can get and the easier you can get that photo to that person, the more chance there are of them seeing it, downloading it, sharing it, saving it, or purchasing it, for instance. And that was the idea, is using these little QR cards. So they just scan a card, they don't have to put in an email address, they don't have to download an app, nothing, just scan a card, up pops your photo, download it.
And it is that simple. It's one of those things where you hear so much about it and you really hope it's as good as it comes across, and the theory of it. And you spent some time setting up my cameras to make sure the FTP code connects to your server. And then when that's done, and my cameras are both, I'm a Canon guy, so I've got this camera is a R6 II, and this one is a 5D Mark IV, and both of them are just synchronized. And so take a photo of the QR code, take a photo of the person or whatever situation, and then straight away that person has that photo on their phone. If they click on it, then it links to putting in their card details. It's that simple, and it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we've tried to do, is just make it as simple as possible. And the joy of it is, if you've got Wi-Fi, great, it goes on instantly. Even if you haven't, the second you step into somewhere that does have Wi-Fi, they'll still upload.
Yeah. And
with the back end of the app as well, we've tried to make it as simple as we can for photographers to set up and use. So we've got kind of minimal settings there deliberately. Yeah. Because we know there are all these other pieces of software that literally have so many settings you're just never going to use. And it's great if you're a professional photographer to have a lot of things built into a software, but because this software targets one very specific workflow of just roaming photography and uploading, we thought, why complicate it? And literally Shoot and Share is kind of all it needs to do.
Exactly. So what are the limitations of it?
So the limitations, and it depends whether you see it as a limitation, is we have a maximum number of photos per QR. So we say that 15 photos max per QR. And you'll very rarely find at an event that you're going to take more than 15 photos of a singular couple. Yeah. And that's just to kind of avoid people either putting a whole web gallery worth of photos on a singular card, which again takes the complete point out of the software. Yeah. And then the other, I suppose, slight limitation, but it also is a benefit, is that the photographers are using low-res images, not high-res. So you want sort of 2-3 megabyte max, just to make the photos shareable. Because where you're uploading them remotely, they obviously need to be small enough to be able to upload quickly. And also when customers are downloading it on their phone, they don't want 2-3 gig files on their phone. They just want 2-3 meg to share on social medias and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's not for your raw photographer, but again, when you're shooting events and you're sharing digital photos, that's what people come to expect.
Absolutely. I mean, I've always shot JPEG and RAW simultaneously. I mean, with all of these modern day cameras, I don't see why you wouldn't. So for me, it's perfect, and I wouldn't need to change anything in my camera settings anyway.
No, so as you saw, when we set your camera up, you can set FTP up, so you can still shoot RAW and just upload the low-res JPEG.
Exactly.
So you've still got the RAW images there to give to your client at the end if you wanted to, or to use for printing or whatever else you want. But the idea is you can set the camera just to upload the JPEGs as well.
Yeah. So if you've used the Canon Upload software, then I see it as quite similar to that. However, it takes the customer and client to a paywall instantly. So it makes sure that you're going to get paid for your work, as you should. And I just see that this is a game changer, because you're going to save so much time with not needing to upload to a gallery. You're not going to have to go home, transfer it over, get it to all process across. It's all done there and done and dusted. And obviously they're going to tell their friends about it. Then it's going to like continue, and then it's all.
But the thing is even when you're posting to a gallery, you still have to have the same process of giving the customer something to go to your gallery, so that they can see where to go. So this is no different to that. The only thing you're really adding into your process here is taking a photo of a QR before you take a photo of the person.
Yeah.
But the idea is you still have to give the customer something to say, go to this place to get your photo. But with the direct link, we found as well that, especially if you're selling photos, unless you're the quicker they're uploaded, as you know, the quicker they're going to buy them. If you upload them 24 hours later, by then they've forgotten who you are, they've forgotten that you've taken a photo, and your chances just go down every hour and day that go by that they're not purchasing. So the fact that you can literally take a photo of a QR and get the customer to scan it there and then, whilst you're holding it in your hand, and get them to purchase almost in front of you, you can use it as a POS tool, basically.
Exactly, and it's probably it's going to be easier to get them to purchase something when they're there in the moment and probably had a few drinks. Not saying that that's what you need to get it done, but in the moment, that's how things really move forward.
Yeah.
Most freelance photographers, when they hear about the ease of it, and like everything, you go through that setup, and then once it's set up, which really isn't too complicated, because all modern cameras have the ability already built in. So everything's there for this to work. And then it's just down to your skill and ability and how you are one-to-one as a photographer talking to people. So the world's your oyster with this.
Yeah, this is it, and that's the joy, is you can take it anywhere. And the best part is where you're using FTP with it, you don't need to bring a laptop, you don't need to bring a whole load of other kit, it's completely self-sufficient. So you're turning up to an event with just you, your laptop, just you, your camera and your QR cards, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of almost unheard of. I think a lot of photographers are almost worried because they go, well, what happens if this doesn't work? But when there's internet, the camera just does the hard work for you. We've built the tech to make it as easy as possible for you to be able to use.
Exactly.
You can basically get your own branding put on the back of these cards. So if you're going around a wedding, for instance, you can go around sharing photos at a wedding.
Yeah.
You can put your own branding on the back of the card, and you're literally doing networking whilst you're at the wedding.
Fantastic.
And the best thing is the bride and groom and people don't know, because it's their photo card. They don't see it as a networking thing. And then you turn it around and go, oh, hang on a sec, I like that photo.
Yeah.
I'd like to buy that.
I mean, I think also what's important to mention is it's not doing anything that would cause any rift between the clients that booked you for an evening.
Yeah.
I think it would be important for you as a photographer to say, if customers want to buy individual photos on top, then I do this service as well. That might be worth mentioning, because you don't want to step on anyone's toes.
No, but the other opportunity is you can use shoot and share in free mode.
Yes.
So there's nothing stopping you from putting it into free mode, and the client pays 100 quid, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You work out with them for you to be there to give something back to the guests in this like similar fashion to you would do a photo booth. It's the bride and groom giving something back to the guests. They're all looking lovely. Do you know how many weddings I've been to where I've had these amazing photos taken of me from a photographer? Just never seen it.
That is such a good point.
And with this, you get to see, rather than a cheesy photo booth when you're hammered at the end of the night, this is lovely portrait shots of yourself taken by a professional photographer that you get to see instantly, and that's something that the guests will cherish.
That is crucial. Yeah, so quite simply, you can have it set to your promo of where it takes card details, or have it set to free, where that has been already established with whatever your client's needs are. And the versatility of this speaks for itself. I just think this is game changer. It's brilliant, and everyone should get on board.
Cheers. Yeah, so there is one more mode of operation, which is if you don't have FTP on your camera, or for instance, some photographers don't like to give their images away before they're edited. We also have a feature on the app where you can just drag and drop. So you can shoot an event, taking photos of the card, hand them out. You tell the customer they'll be available in X amount of time, 24 hours, however long it takes you to edit. You can then take your photos home, put them through Lightroom, Darkroom, Photoshop, make all of your edits. You save them with the same file name, drag and drop them into the app with the QRs, links them together and does the same thing. So then the client ends up with lovely edited images and not just what you've shot straight off the camera, if that's how you prefer to work.
Fantastic. If you're used to a traditional workflow of your a gallery and taking it home, you can do that. You can stick to your traditional way of working. It's such a brilliant product, and it's so important in this day and age when everyone wants everything and they want it now.
Yeah.
And there is no substitute with this product for loss of quality. So it just means that you can hit the ground running every time. So thank you, Dan. Thank you for creating this.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Nice one.
Nice one. All right. Bye.